Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy.
All of us, just being a little bit more consistent in what we're doing. I think that's certainly something that we all, have to be a little bit better at. And I think, we'll get a lot better results when we get a little bit more consistent.
Saints and Jags tonight from inside the Caesars Superdome. It's a game day. I love Thursday night baseball games for LSU. It feels like it shortens the week. I love Thursday night football tonight with the Saints. It feels like it's kind of shortened the week a little bit, feeling like a game day. And then we know Friday vibes are very good. It's game day for another guy here on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Luke Johnson covers the Saints for The Advocate. He joins us now. Luke, how are the vibes in the city today on a game day?
Terrible. At least it's nice outside, it's just it's bad down here, man. I think people are really disappointed, really, really frustrated, and I honestly don't have a lot of hope about what's still yet to come for this season. It's pretty bad. They got some time to turn it around, but not that much time.
Look, I'm with you, and I don't have any emotional attachment to the Saints, so I'm just basing this on what I see, not what I feel on Sundays. I was at a watch party on Sunday, and everybody was really super bummed out. Is that permeating through the roster and maybe the front office? Are y'all getting into that in interview sessions, or is that just us that are watching the Saints and doing it from the outside?
Well, I think they're frustrated, but I don't think they're at all at the stage yet where they think the sky's falling. But you can clearly sense that this team is just kind of at a loss for how this has happened. This is really 2 straight years, 2.5 if you want to count the back end of the 2021 season after Jameis Winston got hurt, where it seems like every week they go out there and they're in a competitive game because their defense is playing so well, but it just doesn't really matter because they can't score points. That frustration's been building up, man, and I think you've seen some instances where the body language for the Saints hasn't been great. You've heard guys in the locker room calling teammates out, not publicly, not by name, but saying we need to get our stuff together. We need to get on the same page. We need to have everybody kind of preparing the way they're supposed to prepare. And you can't blame them because the results haven't been there.
The last 2 drives just really puzzled me last week with the check down to Kamara and then the jump balls at the end. What was your sense in watching it live, talking to some players, and I'm sure going back and rewatching it as to what you saw?
Well, the check down on 4th down, first of all, that play would never have had to be run if they would have just made a 29-yard field goal earlier in the game, right? Then they'd be kicking a field goal to cut it to, a point at that point. Mm-hmm. And the defense was playing well enough in the second half. That's probably what they would have done. But on that play in particular, it was really a 2-man route, and Mike Thomas was running a little stick right at the yard marker, and they were reading the linebacker. So linebacker drops, getting in the way of the Michael Thomas route, and Alvin, I just don't think, got out on his route fast enough. So when Derek Carr saw the coverage on Michael Thomas, he threw it to Alvin Kamara in the flat, and the linebacker still able to make a play. He got out there, and then there was 2 guys to beat with 5 yards to go. It just didn't work out. You could make a case that maybe they need to have other options on that play and not have it be a 2-man route. But I think if you're relying on Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, you're feeling pretty good about it. Obviously, it just didn't work out. And I think there's real frustration from the fan base seeing that and saying, why are you throwing 5 yards short of the sticks on 4th and 4? I get that, but I think that particular play just the defensive look did not really align well for success on that play. And on the last drive, look, they get all the way down the field. I think Derek Carr completes 6 of his first 8 passes. They're doing some good things with this rhythm passing game where they got their 2 starting tackles a route, and you're like, okay, they've got something working here. And all of a sudden they get to the 24-yard line and they just run 4 verts on 4 straight plays. And that's where you're just like, what is going on? Where's the middle of the field? Why are we just watching these guys just kind of chuck up 50-50 balls with the game on the line like this? It was really confounding, and we haven't really gotten a good answer as to why that happened.
I couldn't believe what I was watching when I saw that. All right, so let's move forward to Saints and Jags in this one tonight. We know no Ryan Ramczyk and no Hurst tonight, so your tackles are compromised. The report is that Trevor Penning will not start either. So what can you tell us about what's left of this offensive line?
Well, you've got one guy who has barely played this year because of injury, Andres Pete.
Mm-hmm.
They're planning on starting at left tackle for his first start there in 5 years. And then on the right side, they've got a guy who was they signed off the street 2 weeks ago, who hasn't started a game in 2 years at their right tackle, and they're going up against the Jags pass rush that features Josh Allen, who has a pair of 3 sack games to his credit already this year. Hunt, I'm not feeling good about it. So yeah, look, they're just in a really bad spot on this offensive line, and like this is something we talked about throughout training camp. Is like hey, their first team offensive line, you can see how it would be okay, right? And we didn't see a whole lot of them in game action, but you felt pretty good. Like Ryan Ramczyk's a good player. Cesar Ruiz is coming off a pretty solid season. Eric McCoy's been pretty good. You can count on James Hurst at left guard, and who knows what's going to happen with Trevor Penning. That's a big question mark. But the backup offensive line was terrible throughout training camp, throughout the preseason. You're like, man, 1 or 2 injuries, they could really be screwed there. And now they've got 2 injuries, and the Penning thing did not pan out at all. So now they're starting Max Garcia, who was not with the team in training camp. They're starting Cam Irving, who is not with the team in training camp. And they're starting Andres Pete at left tackle, who, again, the last game of 2018 was the last time he played that position. So, I mean, it's just I really I don't know how they're going to get it done tonight. Like, you've seen teams scheme around offensive line injuries this year. I just what gives you confidence in this Saints offense to do that after watching them through 6 games? There's no confidence on my end. I just say I can't see how this is going to be successful tonight.
And with Penning, I know what it says right now. It says you're not good enough to play, and we got to go find guys who aren't even in football right now to go play. And that's one message. What does it say about the next 2 months? What does it say about next fall?
I mean, I'm having a hard time seeing how he's going to stick a tackle.
Yeah.
Right. I think the Saints took a big swing on somebody with a lot of traits you really like. He's a good athlete. It just has not worked out. And maybe they are talking themselves into hey, let's just reset on this. Let's let him sit back and watch. But I mean, how does this not kill his confidence at whatever shreds of it are remaining, where you're starting Cam Irving at right tackle and Max Garcia at left guard instead of putting Trevor Penning in when your 2 other offensive tackles are out? This has to just be brutal for him. And for the Saints, I don't know how you come back from this and be like, yeah, he's going to be our left tackle of the future. We invested a first-round draft pick in him. We made these trades to make sure we could go get him. How does this guy not now profile as a left guard and you're back in the tackle market next year? I don't see how that's even possible.
Luke Johnson's our guest, covers the Saints for The Advocate. He'll be in the Dome tonight for Saints and Jags on Thursday Night Football. There's some questions around Trevor Lawrence. Adam Schefter expects him to go after a workout today. That's either he or C.J. Beathard. But do you feel like the Saints, as they have generally week in and week out, have a chance against this Jags offense to make it a really ugly game around 13, 14 points and keep them in it?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm expecting, right? A really ugly football game tonight. Because, look, I think Trevor Lawrence is easily the best quarterback that was on their schedule this year.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything that's happened has changed that, even though he's not had this, great start to the season. And the thing that would make him even more difficult for the Saints than a normal quarterback is that I think he's a great athlete. He's really mobile in the pocket. And if that's not part of his game tonight, I think that really obviously plays in the Saints' favor. You trust their back end against this Jags receiving core, even though they've got some pretty good weapons there. And you can see a scenario where they kind of get after Trevor Lawrence and this Jaguars offensive line, which hasn't really played great football this year either. So, yeah, I'm 100% fully expecting a gross game tonight, which the Saints are probably they're probably for, right? They're okay, well, maybe we have a chance to win this if we could actually score some points. But this is just the story we've been talking about for the last 2 years now. It's just every game feels like these razor thin margins where the defense goes out there and hold the other team to 17 or 20 points, and then at the end of the game they're like, nah, we didn't do enough. Come on, man. I feel so bad for that defensive unit.
Demario Davis is at the heart of it, dealing with some injuries at this point. If he doesn't go, what does that level of the defense look like?
Well, the guess is that at some point in the next couple hours here, we're going to see that Jaylen Smith is being elevated off of IR.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not off IR, off the practice squad, and he'll be available in case Demario can't go. So they're legitimately making this a game time decision. See how we can react in pregame warmups. If he can't go, which is a distinct possibility tonight, to be the first time he missed a game ever in a dozen years as an NFL player because of injury. I would fully expect Jaylen Smith to slide into that middle linebacker role. Whenever they're in that kind of dime look where they have one linebacker on the field, I'd expect Pete Werner on the field there. I just don't think that we're going to see like Zach Bond be playing a ton more snaps than I feel like he'll just stick in his kind of strong side linebacker role where he'll play like 10, 12 snaps in their base defense. But the majority of the time, if Demario can't play, we'll see Pete Werner and Jaylen Smith.
Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.